Hi, this is CPA Mark Cummins. I've been a CPA for 30 years, over 30 years, doing taxes for 15. And I have seen just about everything, not everything, but just about everything. And today I want to talk to you about back taxes. Actually, I'm speaking for our little company called Back Taxes USA. We specialize in getting people up in compliance. And the topic is, how did I get here? How did I get to a position where I'm 2 to 10 years behind filing taxes? Well, these are our clients. These are our folks that we help out. And what's interesting about it is that I call it the mental block, is that what's interesting about the US is that the IRS, who is the big boogeyman and people are afraid of, these days is not really that dangerous, in the sense that since COVID happened, IRS shut down the collection system for a couple of years. And then, of course, Biden came in and hired a ton of new people that Trump promptly fired afterwards. So basically, the collection department at the IRS is rather hobbled. It's not what it used to be. Can they take money out of your bank account? Sure they can. Do they do it often? Not much. States do it much more often. States are much more likely to grab your bank account if you owe them money in the past. Can they garnish your wages? They can. Do they do it as much as before? No, but they can. An interesting trend that I've seen lately is seizing passports. So if you want to travel out of the country, I've had people come to me that say their passport has been restricted by Homeland Security. They talk to the IRS, and basically until you clear up your back taxes, which may include back balances or filing, getting into compliance, you can't go anywhere. Your passport is restricted, okay? I guess that's more business for me, and people are much more motivated, especially if they want to go visit relatives overseas or they have a wedding to go to. I've had a few people say, I have a trip planned in a month and my passport is restricted, so we try to get them into compliance quickly. But what I see, which is interesting, is that some folks, they don't file. Mainly, I find hardship issues come up. There's been a death in the family. There's been a medical condition. Folks have moved. They're finishing school. Their lives have gotten chaotic for any number of reasons, and they don't file for a year or two, and then sometimes that snowballs. And the other thing that's interesting is that if you're W-2, most people know that they're going to get a refund, and if that's the case, the IRS is not really going to be on you to file, because in 3 years, the statute of limitation runs out for you to get your refunds, and then you lose them. So you either file or you lose them. And the other thing is this feeling many people have. We are all victims of procrastination. I am no different. Obviously, I file my taxes on time. I'm a tax professional. But there are areas of my life where I just don't get around to it. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling sort of habit where you know it's out there, you know that you should be filing your taxes, but you just don't get around to it. And every time you think about it, it gives you a headache. And then you do something else. You go outside, you stream something, you talk to somebody, or you call someone and say, I really should file my taxes, but you don't do it. And then before you know it, 3 or 4 years go by. So at that point, maybe you've moved, maybe you've lost paperwork, now you don't even know how to get started. So there are firms like us, and what we do is that we get power of attorney from you, we go back and get transcripts from the IRS, and those are our Bible. That's what's golden for us, because we can see what's out there. Do you have 1099s? Have you been door dashing? Do you have W-2 income? Do you have stock, bonds? Everything flows through these transcripts, and then it allows us to evaluate how difficult will it be to get your taxes into compliance. We then file the taxes pretty much exactly with what the IRS has, because that's the data that they have, that third parties have sent them, banks and your jobs and your independent contractor work and cryptocurrency and mortgages. All of that comes through the transcripts. And then that allows us to give people a price and how long will it take us to do it. And it's actually faster, believe it or not, for us to work off of transcripts than all the documents people send us, because every year they send us all these documents. ultimately they've forgotten some things, a W-2, an interest statement. They forgot that they're on covered California or on covered Florida, Obamacare. All of these things are needed to put together a tax return, which is why there are companies like TurboTax out there for more simple returns. So what I say is that you can do it yourself, right? You can find tax software out there that you can put together your documents and you can get transcripts. You can contact someone like us. You take a look in the comments section. There's a link to us, or you can go to someone else. But it's important to file those taxes, get that weight off your shoulders, because I had a client, this one funny story, you get a Mark story, who every time she hadn't filed taxes for 8 years, and every time, and she was a lawyer too, so you can imagine she's well aware of the law, and she was so paranoid she thought every time she heard a helicopter that they were coming for her. They were not coming for her, it was just a helicopter. But it did provide her some motivation to eventually call me, and then within a month we cleared her taxes. That's where we get a lot of satisfaction. We feel like we're firemen saving people, because a lot of times people have been living with this for years, with this burden of, oh shit, I'm in trouble with the IRS, but they don't know how to deal with it. And when it's cleared up, boy, we get a lot of compliments. We're just doing our job, ma'am. We just saved your child, because that's just our job. But it really gives us the satisfaction of otherwise working in a tough and rather boring business. Because I didn't grow up when I was 12 saying, Mom, I don't want to be an astronaut anymore. Would you give me the H&R Block Encyclopedia of Tax Knowledge, because I want to start studying it now? No. All of us people in the tax profession went into it because we're good with numbers and whatever. We like doing it ultimately. So that's all I have to say about that. If you want, click on the link below, or go to someone else to do your taxes. But get them done. Come on, I'm motivating you. Have a good day.